beach na po kanina, sir. Pero,
통일교 창시자인 문선명 총재가 오늘 새벽
A year ago
92살의
today,
일기로 별세했습니다.
Reverend Sun Myung Moon, founder of the Unification Church, passed away at the age of 92. His death was big news around the world. Leaders from many nations and members of the Unification Church and other faiths all came to Korea to pay their respects. A year later, we take another look at the life of Reverend Moon, his lifelong efforts for peace, and his special concern for the reunification of our homeland of Korea. Here at this convention center in Pyongyang, North Korea, which was built in 2007 with investment from Reverend Moon, a memorial altar was set up after his death for offerings of incense and flowers to his memory. The North Korean Director of Defense, Son Taek-jang, and Labour Party Director Yang Kyung-kim were among those who came to offer their respects on behalf of North Korea's chairman, Kim Jong-un. They also posthumously awarded Reverend Moon, who was represented by his youngest son, with the National Reunification Prize, which has also been awarded to Kim Gu, Woon Hyang-yo, and other prominent Koreans. Reverend and Mrs. Moon, who were both born in what is today's North Korea, returned to the country in 1991 to establish a connection of friendship. On December the 6th that year, they arrived in Pyongyang for private talks with President Kim Il-sung.
우리의 문제는 항상 남북 문제다. 소련 종주국이, 공산주의 종주국이 망하게 되면 그 다음에는 결과적으로 남북 전쟁이 갑자기 일어날 가능성이 있어. 이걸 예방하기 위해서는 내가 김일성이를 만나고 좀 친하는 게 좋겠어.
On arrival in North Korea, he met with top leaders of the North at the Mansudae Congress Hall. Rather than being diplomatic, he gave a bold and controversial speech.
주체 사상은 틀린 사상이다. 미흡한 사상이다. 아주 그냥 노골적으로 말씀하시면서 윤기복 위원장, 내가 많이 틀렸어? 막 이러시면서 아이 소학교 아이들 다루듯이 윤기복 위원장, 얘 대답 좀 해봐. 그래, 주체성 가지고 남북 통일할 수 있겠어? 세계 통일할 수 있겠어? 안 돼, 안 돼. 어딘도 없어.
Despite Reverend Moon's blunt criticism of his Juche ideology, Kim Il-sung welcomed him warmly. At that time, international pressure on North Korea surrounding the nuclear inspection issue was mounting. With matters in Korea in such a state, there was nothing easy or safe about visiting Kim Il-sung at this time. Why did North Korea welcome the visit of Reverend Moon, an outspoken critic of communism?
세계적 영향력을 갖는 그런 이제 종교 지도자라는 점을 아마 북한은 상당히 고려했던 것 같습니다. 그런 영향력을 활용해서 남북 화해 협력의 어떤 그 중재자 역할과 함께 또 북한의 어떤 그 체제 보장이라든가 체제 위기를 해소할 수 있는 어떤 도움을 받겠다 하는 그런 의도로 성향이 완전히 다름에도 불구하고 초청을 했다는 것이죠.
The points agreed upon by Reverend Moon and President Kim included reunions for divided Korean families, international nuclear inspections, cultural exchange, and the development of the Diamond Mountain tourist area. By the time of the North Korean visit, Reverend Moon had been working for a peaceful end to the Cold War hostilities for several decades. After the October Revolution in 1917, Lenin moved quickly to set up an international communist organization. In the late 1920s, the activity of the Chinese Communist Party began to expand to Japan and elsewhere in Asia. Soviet influence also spread, and efforts aimed at the communization of other nations gained momentum. From 1945, the world entered the Cold War era, and Korea suffered the pain of being a divided country. In the 1960s, Reverend Moon started his victory over communism activities in earnest. His first focus was on Japan. He made a determination to transform Chocheong-young, a Korean organization that was sympathetic to the North.
조총련은 무조건 이제 북을 자기들의 모국이라고 딱 결정해버리냐고. 그 하나의 운명같이 받아들이죠, 그러죠? 그 거대한 조직이 뭐 숫자가 한두 명도 아니고 29만 명까지 회원이 있었으니까. 그러니까 이 사람들은 이제 한국에 대해서는 적대 감정, 북이 우리를 대하는 감정과 똑같은 감정, 한숨 더 나가가지고 오히려 그냥 이 반동 분자들만 사는 집단이다, 대한민국은.
The Victory Over Communism campaign began at Chosun University, which was founded and funded by North Korea. Of course, the communists had strong control over all the students, and the work was very difficult. Reverend Moon headed to Japan to lead the campaign in person, and after gathering a base of support, he began to encourage Chocheong-young leaders to visit their homeland.
전 일본의 승공 조직을 우선 하고, 그래서 양반이 막 온몸으로 그냥 피땀 흘리면서 129군데 강연을 이미 했어요, 일본에서. 막 동서로, 남북으로. 그리고 나서 이제 조총련을 일본 사람들을 앞세워서 포섭에다가 미국에 가서 연수한다. 그래 모집해서 가서 거기서 이제 강의 내용은 왜 민주주의가 뭘 한가.
Reverend Moon's first delegation of North Koreans living in Japan visited Korea in 1974. For most, it was their first visit to their homeland. The success of these campaigns led to the development of a strong base of support in Japan, which helped launch the Victory Over Communism campaign in Korea itself. In 1975, Reverend Moon held a Save the Nation rally on Yeouido Island in Seoul. At the time, communization in Indochina was spreading rapidly. The rally recognized the imminent threat to Korea and determined to fight against it. People from many nations came to Korea to spread the news about the rally. It was an unparalleled event for the time. Finally, on the day of the rally, there were more than 1,000 participants from 60 different countries, as well as an estimated 1.2 million people from all over Korea.
공산주의를 쓰러뜨리는 이 싸움은 곧 하나님의 싸움이 되는 것입니다.
After the success of these victory over communism activities in Asia, Reverend Moon turned his attention to the United States. Following the US defeat in Vietnam, illegal drug use and sexual immorality were causing further turmoil among America's youth. Reverend Moon was very concerned about this problem.
누가 미국을 바로잡겠습니까? 누가 이 워싱턴을 참 방향을 바로잡아서 참 세계를 바로 이끌고 갈 수 있겠느냐 하는 것이 중요한 그 과제였을 때에 문 선생님께서는 나 아니면 할 수 없겠다.
On arrival in the United States, this unknown minister from Asia conducted high-profile activities across the country. Americans began to listen to his message that it was time for the United States to wake up. As support for his work grew across the United States, the press and media began to take notice.
But if you were the most enormous effect.
In September 1976, in Washington, D.C., hundreds of thousands of people attended a rally in front of the Washington Monument.
무엇보다도 무신론에 입각한 공산주의의 위협은 가장 심각하며 이 시간에도 도처에서 침식에 들어오고 있습니다. 이것은 단지 미국만이 문제가 아니고 하나님에게 있어 그리고의 모든 종교인과 온 자유세계인들에게 있어 심각하고도 절박한 문제입니다. 하나님께서 200년간 준비하신 미국은 크게 각성하고 하나님께서 분부하신 중차대한 세계적 사명을 다하여야 할 것입니다.
Huge crowds gathered everywhere, and the rallies had a big impact on American society. The 1976 year-end edition of Newsweek featured Reverend Moon on the cover. He met leading American political figures, spoke on Capitol Hill, and shared his vision for America. He realized that to make a lasting impact, he would need to work with the media. A major initiative was the establishment of the Washington Times, first published in 1982. The Times stood in contrast to the left-leaning journalism of the rival Washington Post, and became a central part of Reverend Moon's long battle against communism and left-wing ideologies. Reverend Moon believed that victory for Ronald Reagan, a conservative, was important in order to defeat communism.
It wasn't always the popular thing to do, but you were a loud and powerful voice. Like me, you arrived in Washington at the beginning of the most momentous decade of the century. Together we rolled up our sleeves and got to work. And, oh yes, we won the Cold War.
In difficult times, even more than in easy ones, the voice of conservatism must make itself heard in the media. It isn't always easy. It wasn't easy when the paper's founder, Dr. Moon, first began the Washington Times.
And I'd be remiss if I did not thank the founder of the Washington Times, Reverend Moon, for his vision in launching this newspaper and others like it. Without him, there would be no Washington Times, and I think it's appropriate that we pay our respects to him.
In 1989, the Berlin Wall came down. With the collapse of communism, Reverend Moon turned his mind to the challenge of reconciliation. He visited the Soviet Union in April 1990. At the time, the Soviet Union did not have diplomatic relationships with South Korea. Reverend Moon held talks with Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev, where he offered his firm support for Gorbachev's reform policies of perestroika and glasnost. He made several proposals of his own, including the establishment of diplomatic ties with South Korea, economic cooperation, and Russian support for Korean reunification. One bold proposal, which was accepted, was an invitation to sponsor 3,000 university students to visit America on an exchange program. Reverend Moon wanted to introduce these students to new values. A few months before the end of the Soviet Union, an attempted coup d'etat threatened to undo Gorbachev's reforms. But Russian citizens' opposition stopped the coup in just 3 days. At the forefront were some of the 3,000 students who had been to the United States. Gorbachev himself was released from house arrest. At last, the Cold War came to an end. A few years later, the Gorbachevs visited Korea and paid a courtesy visit to Reverend and Mrs. Moon at their residence in Seoul. Meeting again after earth-shaking changes, they shared their common vision for peace. In 1994, tensions between North and South Korea were once again running high. There were strong suspicions that the North was developing nuclear weapons. It withdrew from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, triggering the first Korean nuclear crisis.
북한을 향해서 미국은 폭격하겠다고 그랬어요. 또 북한 대표자가 판문점에 나와서 서울 불바다론을 제기하고 그런 전쟁 일부 직전이었거든요.
Even though the International Atomic Energy Authority conducted nuclear inspections, they said they needed fuller access to the north. But Pyongyang was strongly opposed. North Korean delegate Young-Soo Park, visiting Seoul in advance of a planned summit, warned that Seoul could become an inferno.
여기서 서울이 멀지 않습니다. 전쟁이 일어나면은 불바다가 되고 말아요.
아니 지금
정 선생도 아마 살아나기 어려울 거예요.
아니
다만
그걸 말이라고 합니까?
그렇기 때문에
아니
이에 대해서
그럼 우리가 가만히 있을 것 같아요?
글쎄 이렇게 여기에 대해서
아니 좀 얘기하세요. 지금
심사숙고를 해야 된다.
전쟁 선언하는 겁니까?
In a situation which could easily have led to war, Reverend Moon increased his Track 2 citizen diplomacy efforts. One such initiative was the North-South Students' Peace Seminar. Meeting in Beijing, China, the students opened a gate for reconciliation between North and South at a time when the two governments were barely speaking to each other. Because it was such a sensitive time, the conference attracted international attention. The students set aside their differences and discussed peaceful roads to unification. They traveled around China together, playing in sports competitions, forging friendships, singing traditional songs, and other cultural programs. After these experiences, the students from North and South became very close. They delivered a statement to their respective countries, saying that it was not necessary to go to war, and what they all wanted was peace and unification. They applied all their youthful energy to dispel the clouds of war. On several other occasions, when the political situation on the Korean peninsula again became strained, the students' peace seminars offered a way to reduce some of the pressure. After the threat of war had passed, the North and South once again began to work towards the summit meeting. But then Kim Il-sung died, and relations again foundered. The shock enveloped North Korea.
위대한 수령 김일성 동지께서 1994년 7월 8일 2시에
The funeral procession for Kim Il-sung clearly showed the impact of his death. The people were plunged into very public grief, and Pyongyang was at a standstill. The situation was front-page news in the South as well. No one knew what kind of changes lay ahead. Delegations from many other countries traveled to North Korea to offer their condolences, normal protocol following the death of a head of state. But the South Korean government decided not to send a delegation, which the North took as an insult. But Reverend Moon did send a delegation. He asked Bo-hee Park, then president of the Segye Times newspaper, to attend the funeral on his behalf. With government permission, Dr. Park made his personal, unofficial trip to Pyongyang. He met with Kim Il-sung's son, Kim Jong-il, to offer Reverend Moon's condolences. However, Dr. Park's visit was strongly criticized by the South Korean press. Intimidated by this reaction, the government reversed its original position. The visit was recategorized as being unpatriotic, and it was announced that Dr. Park would be punished in accordance with national security laws. After that, he could not enter Korea for 4 years.
정부도 북한에 가신 걸 알고 있다 소리, 우리가 허락했다 소리를 못하겠습니다. 혼자 결심해서 자의로 갔다 온 걸로 해 주실 수 있으시겠습니까? 어느 기자에게나 어느 누구에게도 한 일이 없습니다. 이 비밀이 오늘 여기서 터집니다.
Despite the repeated lack of official cooperation, Reverend Moon continued his outreach to the north and moved forward to establish cultural ties. The Little Angels, a children's troupe which had been performing around the world since its founding by Reverend Moon in 1963, made a special 10-day tour to North Korea in May 1998. They were the first cultural visitors from the South to visit the North since the division of the country. People thronged to the theater to see these young ambassadors for peace. The emotional welcome for the Little Angels from the South was truly historic, and this was the work of Sun Myung Moon.
하루 좋게 우리 조국이 통일이 되어 여러분과 더 자주 만날 수 있는 날이 오기를 바랍니다.
우리나라 전통 무용인데 뭐 화관무, 처녀총각, 뭐 꼭두각시, 부채춤, 북춤 이런 식으로.
It was more than just a dance performance. It was the opening of a new road to unification.
북한과 남한과 그 문화를 교류할 수 있었다는 것에 굉장히 기여가 컸던 것 같아요.
Then, in the summer of 2000, Reverend Moon invited a student dance troupe from Pyongyang to visit Seoul. Again, they were the first civilian group from the north to visit the south since the division of Korea. History was being made again in a hopeful spirit of reconciliation and dialogue.
역사적으로 이루어진 남과 북, 북과 남의 정상회담을 목전에 두고 있는 이때 평양학생 소년예술단이 경축 공연을 갖게 된 건 역시 민간급 문화예술 교류를 활성화시키는 커다란 계기가 될 것입니다.
The goal of initiating cultural exchange, agreed to 10 years earlier by Reverend Moon and Kim Il-sung, was at last accomplished. It was a major milestone in the limited history of North-South cultural relations. After the successful performance, people were visibly moved. Many started to believe that it might be possible to achieve unity between the North and South after so long a separation.
일반 주민들의 인식을 바꾸는데 상당히 기여했을 겁니다. 그러니까 같은 이제 동포애를 느끼고 민족 동질성을 느끼고 그러면 이제 정치적으로도 같이 화해해 나가야 된다는.
오늘 남과 북은 이렇게 민족을 향해 또 전 세계를 향해 남북한의 정상이 평양에서 만나기로 했다고 알렸습니다.
It was the first summit between the North and South in the 55 years since the division of Korea in 1945. The summit resulted in the signing of a joint declaration between North and South, which included reunions for families divided by the partition of Korea, civilian exchanges, economic cooperation, and the opening of the Diamond Mountain Resort area. Efforts were also made to bring about normalization of North Korean relations with the United States and Japan. The first face-to-face talks between the heads of the two countries since the division of the Korean Peninsula was a historic occasion. After the summit, official economic ventures began. However, Reverend Moon had launched such economic cooperation years before. One important initiative was the establishment of Pyeonghwa Peace Motors. The creation of an automobile factory provided opportunities for technological development and the chance to strengthen North Korea's weak economy. Kim Jong-il and other top North Korean leaders eagerly welcomed the opening of the factory in 1998.
민간 차원에서의 통일 논의라는 것이 필요하고 통일 문제를 같이 협의하는 것도 필요한 시점이 됐구나. 이런 것들을 이제 깔아놓는 그런 계기가 됐다고 볼 수 있을 것 같습니다.
Among the many areas that Reverend Moon has worked on in his lifetime, working for the harmony of religions, youth education, women's rights, and ending poverty are among the most important. As a religious leader, Reverend Moon was very aware of the problem of religious disunity. Conflicts with religious roots are still taking place in many parts of the world. Reverend Moon's interfaith programs have helped religions to work for peace as one family under God. On September 11th, 2001, the World Trade Center in New York was destroyed by Islamic suicide terrorists. Reverend Moon has emphasized that interreligious cooperation was essential to solve this issue. He gathered the faithful from every religion to lead the way to break down barriers of mistrust and misunderstanding.
미국에서 닦아진 그런 모든 세계적 기반을 중동 쪽으로 포커스를 하시면서 비정치적, 비군사적 입장에서 민간 차원의 강력한 NGO 운동으로 중동의 분위기를 바꿔나가야 된다.
At the height of the Second Intifada between September 2003 and May 2004, religious leaders from every tradition gathered to try to end the violence.
전 세계에서 약 한 3,000명 정도의 평화를 사랑하는 사람들을 초종교적으로, 초국가적으로 예루살렘에 가서 평화운동을 하도록 하라. 정상들만 해도 한 60명 정도가 참여할 정도였으니까 이스라엘 팔레스타인 역사의 가장 큰 규모의 외국 사절단이 한꺼번에 들어온 거죠.
Out of the whole governmental activities, the UPF are making the most important activity for the peace in the Middle East.
Reverend Moon had long viewed the conflict between religions as one of humanity's most serious problems. In 1985, he started the Assemblies of the World's Religions and developed this initiative throughout the world. He believed religious leaders should meet in person to overcome their differences and agree on a path that all religions could follow together. In Geneva in 1985, the Professors' World Peace Academy was the first academic body in the world to predict the imminent fall of the Soviet Empire, a bold claim that attracted the attention of scholars the world over.
국경에 갇혀 있지 않고 국제적인 차원에서 자기 전공을 뛰어넘어서 학제적으로 학문의 영역을 뛰어넘어 다른 학문의 영역에 있는 사람들까지 손을 잡고 공통 목표인 세계 인류의 평화를 논할 수 있는 그런 자리를 만들어 줘야 되겠다. 이런 생각을 하신 거죠.
Reverend Moon wanted to provide an open, interdisciplinary forum and said that scholars had a duty to help solve real-world problems and promote world peace through joint research and cooperation. A number of Nobel laureates have joined these academic conferences hosted around the world. Reverend and Mrs. Moon have supported various projects for relief and development. In 1975, they established the International Relief Friendship Foundation to provide food, medical supplies, and other necessities to poor countries in Africa, South America, and elsewhere. The foundation continues to support mobile medical teams, technical education, water purification, and other projects, and runs several schools in Africa. Encouraged by the range of these activities, President Goodluck Jonathan invited Reverend and Mrs. Moon as state guests to Nigeria in 2011. Reverend and Mrs. Moon have long been involved in women's empowerment as well. In 1992, they founded the Women's Federation for World Peace as a way to give women a greater voice in peacemaking. Women participated in Bridge of Peace reconciliation ceremonies between Japan and America, China and Japan, and other former enemy nations. Projects like these continue in every region of the world and are striving to establish a new standard for women's empowerment. As the position of women gains prominence and the Women's Federation's efforts to enhance world peace become better known, it has gained recognition from many prominent world figures, including UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon.
The activities of Reverend Moon is very important. Why I consider it important? Because start of the inception of the United Nations.
By any standards, the worldwide impact of Reverend Moon's life and work is remarkable. He is remembered by many as a pioneer, tearing down the walls of division for the sake of reconciliation and unity. Whether publicly recognized or not, his trailblazing engagement with North Korea has contributed to the process of unification. He has left behind a great legacy, but there are many things to be accomplished to realize his vision of one family under God.
Maraming salamat po, Kuya Randy, for that beautiful video po. At this juncture, he will be elaborating pa po. Meron pa po yung presentation ito, di ba?
Di natin.
So I hope that our participants been able to see and witness how beautiful, how successful. The one that I have told earlier, to get acquainted with the person who had introduced to us all the things that we have been learning along the way. So yeah, we can of course see the tremendous accomplishments of this man, Reverend Samuel. So at this juncture, I really believe that our couples, aside from Miss Jennifer, our couples are very excited also with this next program that we're gonna have. I mean, presentation that we're gonna have, because this is what we call. This is about the family traditions that we are supposed to have been practicing, and of course, this is upon knowing the principle. This is what we are going to practice as a way of life. So my dear brothers and sisters, without further ado, again, I would like to introduce to you our resource person, and please help me welcome with the virtual round of applause, our very own Dr. Randy for the presentation. Welcome po, Kuya.
Hello po, good evening to everybody, and thank you very much for coming to joining this webinar. Okay, and I know you have sacrificed your time na dapat matulog na kayo, but you're still here. But don't worry, we are in the same boat together. Okay, so I hope na with this presentation we can learn from each other, and we can learn what should be the life that we have to practice, so that we can really stand as a real blessed family, and we can also share to the next generation that will be coming from us, because we believe that our destination is to really build a God-centered family. Okay, so are you ready, brothers and sisters? Yan. Hirap pala mag-change ng change ng audience. Parang hindi na ako sanay mag-shift from one to another. Okay.
Grabe, I know you're fully loaded for today, but thank you, Kuya, for your extreme hard work. Extreme.
Okay, so so this time we'll discuss about blessed family life, how we should be, and what are the practices so that we can really say that we belong to the group of connected to God's blood lineage. Okay, we all know that God had waited for us for 6,000 years. Aju? And only this time that nagkaroon siya ng opportunity na makita na siya mismo yung nagbibigay sa atin ng blessing through our true parents. And that's really very grateful. That's really very, I can say that's really very uplifting in God's heart. That after 6,000 years, sa wakas. Di ba? Parang merong matagal na tinik sa paa mo na after long years, dun lang natanggal. Tapos ang tagal kitang tiniis, sa wakas natanggal ka rin. Parang ganun si God. That's the situation of God now. Nagkaroon siya ng hope. Wow. Okay? Kaya sabi ni Father, ang itsura daw ni God ngayon is parang tumatalon na hindi mo ma-explain. Alam mo yung batang tuwang-tuwa na basta lang tumatalon tapos tawa ng tawa. Parang ganun ang heart ni God. Ganun ang situation ni God ngayon. And in order for us to continuously give that to heart to God, it's very important to know what are the things that we have to do as the rightful inheritor of the lineage of God. Aju? So, brothers and sisters, first, let's understand what's really blessed central family. Okay? According to Father, centering on blessed family and the Ideal Kingdom book, Sabi niya, Father said, I bless you because I want you to establish a family which is objective to God and which is qualified to receive His love. When the two representatives of all men and all women become one and establish a family, that family belongs to heaven. Ibig sabihin, after we receive the blessing, we are not anymore belong to anybody else. But we are exclusively for God. Kaya what we have to think is, I am for God, I must build God's plan here on earth. Aju? Yeah. Kaya, what do we need to do? We needed to focus on raising our family. Okay? So that our family will become model to our community. Magnetizing our community to be connected. Dapat ang mga community, sila yung lalapit sa atin na, paano ba kayo na, paano yan? How to be you po. Diba? Dapat sila yung lalapit na ganon. But how can we do that? Okay? First, we should receive education. Okay? And we should make sure that the family should be a place for both education and training for experiencing and practicing what we call true love. And also in the family that we will be building, children are inclined to follow their parents. That is why, as parents, we should serve God first. We should only think of, how can I liberate God's heart? How can I elevate the heart of God? And that's the only way so that we can effectively teach our children through our practice. Kasi sabi nga natin, di ba? Practice what we preach. Okay? So that's really important. Okay. Although maraming limitation, but at least we have to do something higher than the usual na pwede makita sa atin. Okay? Kaya sabi ni Father, as a parents, when you educate your own children, you should not teach them to love you only. You must tell them, I am a loyal citizen and patriot who deeply love this nation. I wish to be a parent of patriots and loyal citizen. Okay? So we should not let them only inform them that they should only love us as their parents, but they should go beyond, okay, our relationship as a parent. That's why we should raise them to become a good, loyal patriot to our nation. Okay? So this is what Father said about the highest form of education that we can receive. Parents teaching that their children are the sons and daughters of God, not just filial sons and daughters, a loyalist or a saint. That is the highest form of education. Ano yan? Children are the sons and daughters of God. Bakit kaya? Okay? Bakit kaya? Diba? Sabi niya dito, sons and daughters of God. Why? Do you have any idea? Because after we receive the blessing, we belong to God. And our children, they are not children. They are not our own children. They are also children of God. Adyo po? Kaya that should be the thing that we have to let our children understand. That we are not only their parents. Their first and foremost parent is no other than God. Kaya kung titignan natin, ang role ng blessed family is number one, to give joy to God. God said, whenever I bless a couple, I held them and rejoice, saying, my children found in 6,000 years. Kaya sabi ko kanina, di ba? Ang heart ni God ngayon is para siyang bata na tuwang-tuwa. After 6,000 years, at last. Okay? And also, we are the one who will remove God's sorrow. I give the blessing together with God, so when a blessed couple separate, it inflicts immense sorrow upon God's heart. And this is truly hard for Him. Okay? Yeah. So we needed to raise the banner and standard of the family and educate our children to understand how valuable is receiving the blessing. And aside from that, we should let God's dream is my dream. So what does that mean? The establishment of the kingdom of heaven and earth, and heaven, that is my ultimate goal as well. Okay? That should be our determination and commitment. Yan. Kaya these are the things that we needed to do. These are the conditions necessary for entering the kingdom of heaven. These are the 8 points for us. 8 points for living a life with God and true parents. Number 1 is you can enter heaven only through building a true family. Start with realizing or building a true family. Kaya nga, we have to receive first the blessing. Okay? Second, don't fall. Okay? We have to give our utmost best. Okay? To protect the blessing that we have received from God. Get rid of fallen natures. Okay? Remove all negative way of looking at others, relating with others, and multiplying evilness to others. We have to uproot all fallen natures. Number 4, don't injure the heart of others based on heavenly law. Okay? Fear of public money. We should always think that public money is for God, not for my personal consumption. Number 6, don't drink or smoke. Protect God's body. Number 7, lead a life of worship, meaning we have to continuously keep the pledge. How do we do that? Recite family pledge continuously. Okay? Every day, every morning, so that we will always be reminded what is our commitment to God and true parents. And number 8, keep the duties of our faith. How can we do that? Continuous hondoke. Reading, pag sinabing hondoke, that is reading Father's words. Hindi lang one time. Hindi yung pag nag-hondoke ka na sa umaga, alam ko na. Hindi ko na kailangan magbasa kasi nagbasa na ako kanina. Okay? Tapos, hindi ka na ulit or sa gabi. But every moment, we should have that kind of longingness to understand and experience God's heart through the words of our true parents. That's why, in order for us to raise the banner of standard of our family, this is the blessed family tradition that was set by true parents. Meron tayong tinatawag na attendance and etiquette. So, we, family members, should live our lives attending God and true parents. And in attending God and true parents, our attitude should be to comfort God's heart. Hindi yung mag-attend tayo because we needed to attend through ritual. But it should be voluntarily and artistically. It should not be forcefully. So we should not feel that tradition are compulsory based on our duty to some church law. Okay? It should not be like that. But it should be voluntarily comes from the heart. Okay? Yet, each of us must remember that the important aspect of keeping a tradition is our attitude, not the ritual itself. And when we talk about tradition, can further close the gap that exists between the true parents and ourselves. So we should attend God and true parents as children with a heart of fidelity and filial piety. Kumbaga, we needed to attend because we miss our parents. Hindi yung obligatory kasi you are a member of the church. It should be voluntary that comes from the heart. It should have a pure intention of relationship, developing and building relationship with God and true parents. Okay? So attendance is the first tradition that we have to do. Second is bowing. The tradition of bowing is much more developed in East than in West. An attitude of respect is much more meaningful than whether or not one bows. Okay? So, mag-offer tayo ng full bow. Full bow are used during pledge, services, sungwa ceremony, 8 days dedication, and 3 days ceremony. Okay? Or even special holiday. Okay? We needed to offer our full bow. And ito po yung tamang pag-full bow. Okay? Feet together, hands on your side, and then pag magbabaw, hindi po yung magkadikit yung kamay at saka right over left na ganon. Ngunit meron siyang gap, tapos hindi rin siya nakadikit dito. Okay? It should be at least 1 inch dito. And then, bow. Tapos mauna yung right, bago yung left. Tapos pag tumayo, mauna ulit yung right, bago yung left. Okay? Or, pwedeng sabay na mag-kneel both right and left. Yan. Kahit sa pagtayo, ganun din. Pwedeng sabay na yung right and left. So this is the proper way of offering a full bow. Okay? And then full bow is totally down to the ground. Okay? So there are very few occasions when either a full bow or deep bow to the waist is necessary when greeting a central figure. A member may wish to do so after either central figure or the member has returned from a long trip. Yeah. Actually, kung tutuusin natin, ay true father lang dapat tayo mag-full bow. And ang mag-full bow sa atin, walang iba kundi yung mga anak natin. Okay? Yeah. So when a member greets his or her central figure on a day-to-day basis, it is perfectly acceptable to offer a slight bow of head. This is also true when leaving the central figure. So that is a way to respect the central figure. Okay? But ang full bow, actually, it is for true parents. Okay? And this is our tradition of accepting gifts and money. It is not respectful to accept a gift or money with one hand. The principle explained that giving and receiving of subject and object is important for unity to occur. Therefore, when accepting a gift from anybody, not just for a central figure, it is important and appropriate manner to hold both hands at equal level. At least ganyan or dalawang kamay ang pagkuha. Hindi yung isa lang na ganon. Kung isa lang at meron kang hawak, kung right yung may hawak, ilagay mo sa left yung hawak mo, and then right ang pangkuha. Pero kung both hands are open, it's better to use both hands together when receiving a gift or anything that is coming from either anybody to give respect. It is not limited to central figures but to all brothers and sisters. Yan. So ganito siya. When receiving or accepting gifts, we should use both hands. Pero kung hindi talaga pwede, at least use the right hand. Okay? And also, use of right foot and hand. Right side symbolically represent God's side. When possible, step with the right foot first when walking. Okay, pag mag-start na maglakad, pag palabas sa bahay or palabas sa anywhere, we should always use the right foot first. Right foot tradition. So if possible, use both hands, or if necessary to use only one, use the right hand when serving or receiving items from somebody. Okay? Another tradition that we have is family service. That includes Sunday service. Okay? So Sunday service offers an opportunity for me to offer myself to God. Okay? Dividing the good and evil in my mind, this is an especially appropriate time to offer repentance to God for the past week and to affirm my determination to serve Him in the coming week. And second is daily services. Yeah. Yung everyday na we have to offer our commitment and renew our commitment to God. Yeah. Another tradition that we have is tithing. Okay? Let's understand the significance of tithing. Tithing comes from the biblical tradition of donating 1/10 of one's income to God. The tradition of tithing also includes making offering with an attitude of attendance to God. So our donation to serve God and the worldwide providence should be our first priority. So it's really important that we have to always separate a portion of everything that we have, either financial or anything, and we should offer it to God. And that is a form of tithing. Okay? Pag amount of tithe, since originally all things belong to God, our minimal attitude of attendance should be to offer at least 1/10 of our things to God. Through this conditional offering, the remaining 9/10 of our possessions become godly. Okay? Actually, last September 1991, Father initiated the tithes of 30%. Okay, 10% for the world level, 10% for the national level, and 10% for the church level. Pero ngayon, it goes back to 10%. Pero kung kaya naman, why not? Either you can go for 30% or 10%. Pero ang pinaka least minimal is at least 10% we should offer to God. And these are the different types of tithes. Number 1, letter A is tithe of time. So God anticipates a minimum donation of 3/10 of our time as a commitment to fulfill His will. Number 2 is financial tithes. We should donate 3/10 or at least 1/10 of our income. And third is holiday donation. The amount of money offered is an individual decision. However, it is recommended to offer the amount of a principled number of 7, 12, 21, and 40. Yan. So 70, 700, 120, 210, 400, 2,100, 1,200, 4,000. So at least within this principal number of 7, 12, 21, and 40. Okay. Another tradition that we have is we have what we call the singing of holy song. Singing of holy song is like a form of prayer with melody. So we should sing it meditating on the heart and situation of God and true parents. Then we can feel unity with them in heart. Okay? So that is how we should sing the holy song. It is not just a hymn that we can just sing the way we wanted. There is a melody behind it so that we can feel the heart of true parents when they are writing the holy song. Okay? Another thing that we have is the Chunilgok holy salt. Okay? Ano ba tong holy salt? Ito yung ginagamit natin to purify things using a purified salt. So a tradition that begins after the holy wedding. True parents made the first holy salt on the day of their holy wedding, that is 3/16 lunar calendar in 1960, and use it to sanctify every side of the church before the actual ceremony. After the holy wedding, true parents instructed that this holy salt be distributed to all members worldwide. This marked the beginning of the tradition of a life of sanctification through the Holy Salt. So meron tayong tinatawag na seed Holy Salt, na ito yung imumultiply natin para dadaming Holy Salt, at yun yung gagamitin natin to sanctify things that we will buy and bring into to be used by our family or the church or the center. And anong purpose ng Holy Salt? It is to separate from Satan. On the victorious foundation of True Parents Holy Wedding, True Parents made Holy Salt. Using the Holy Salt, Heavenly Parent used to exterminate evil as a means to separate from Satan and to sanctify and return back everything that had fallen into Satan's dominion, including man, creation, and the environment, back to God's side. So Holy Salt is also separating good and evil and sanctifying function. Salt typically help maintains the cleanliness and holiness of things. In the same manner, Holy Salt separate good and evil and has the sanctifying function that helps people maintain a wholesome life. Yan. So salt usually symbolizes separation of good and evil, purification of things, and possess a sanctifying function, image portraying cleanliness of men. So second significance is a life strictly dividing good and evil to wholly become Heavenly Parents' true child. And number 3 is to separate good and evil, which can be compared to Heavenly Parents and Satan's portion, portrays determination to lead a pure life of faith that attends Heavenly Parents as the sole standard of life and to live as Heavenly Parents' child. Fourth significance, life of faith in the Chunilguk era itself is a sanctified life, hence it is a life of separation between good and evil. So we or each individual must rise all the way to one standard. In order to do so, we must use Holy Salt to sanctify ourselves. According to the above words given by True Parents, we are reminded once more whether we as Chunilguk people of faith fundamentally live a life to complete sanctity by using Holy Salt. And we come to understand that True Parents is emphasizing the need of sanctified life. Separating good and evil is fundamentally a basic approach of life for a person of faith and can be seen as personal effort to sanctify one's life and live a life that is completely one with God, or to be on God's side. So that is the significance of Holy Salt. How to use Holy Salt? Okay. So as of 3:16 on the heavenly calendar, 2016 April 22, the basic prayer to offer when holy salting an object is this way: in the name of True Parents and of heaven, earth, and humankind, and in my name, okay, honor of Chunilguk, I sanctify this item. Okay? Yan. And then, Holy Salt is to be sprinkled in a cross direction from north to south, from east to west. North, south, east, west. Ganon. Okay? So, all goods purchased, such as groceries, clothing, furniture, cars, etc., must be purified with Holy Salt. Or even a gift received from a non-member must be sanctified with Holy Salt. A member may also wish to use Holy Salt to sanctify a gift received from another member unless that member specified it had already been sanctified. Also, when conducting a 3-day ceremony or dedication ceremony, the Holy Salt is used for the sanctification of the venue or a room, most especially if that is not a place of a member. Okay? Pero even sometimes place of a member, pag merong ibang gumagamit, we needed to purify it unless it is dedicated for 3-day ceremony only, or it is a prayer room. Okay? Yan. So when sanctifying a room, stand in the center of the room facing north. After saying the basic prayer, toss a small quantity of the salt towards the north, then to the south, east, and west. From the center of the room, spread the Holy Salt in a clockwise as a condition to cover the entire room. So yun yung pag-holy salt ng room. Pag-sanctify ng room. First, north, south, east, west, and then after that, clockwise na magsaboy ng holy salt to purify the whole room. Okay? Yan yung how to use the holy salt. And number 6, continuation. When purchasing or renting a building or land, do the preceding step from the center place. As for the remaining rooms, as in the case of a building, open the doors to other rooms and sprinkle holy salt 3 times in the room in a representative fashion. So parang every room mag-sprinkle ka ng 3 times and then along the hallway or lahat ng room dapat. So when sanctifying a land, walk around the property, its full perimeter if possible, sprinkle small amount of holy salt on the ground as you walk. If the land is too big, it is difficult to holy salt the entire place, move to the center of the land and sanctify it. In the same manner with which a room or place is being sanctified. So parehas lang dun sa pag-purify dun sa room kung malaki masyado. Pero kung hindi naman, buong perimeter is dapat ma-holy salt. Nang sa ganon, the whole property will be under God. Okay? Yan. So number 8, in principle, a sanctified object should not be given away to a satanic world. However, if for an avoidable reason a sanctified object needs to be sold or donated, returned outside, offer a prayer so that the object remains sanctified only within a limited period it was used. Okay? Or pwede rin sabihin mo na if kailangan na ibigay, kailangan na i-donate, or kailangan ibalik, at least it should be prayed and offered that it will be used accordance to its purpose, as a purified object na it is for God's purpose. Yeah. So when eating food in a restaurant or a friend's place, one can sanctify the food with holy salt. However, if the atmosphere does not allow, a slightly blow 3 times on the food instead of using holy salt. In the same manner, when sanctifying an object in the absence of holy salt, do so by blowing it on it 3 times. Okay? Yung mga special event lang na hindi talaga pwede. Pero kung pwede naman, mas maganda pa rin gumamit ng holy salt. Or mag-offer ng prayer. Holy salt and prayer. And number 10, of process of using it. After participating in a funeral, sanctification should be done before entering into the church or home. Or you do not need to sanctify yourself if you have attended the sungwa ceremony of a blessed family. However, if it is that of a non-member, you must holy salt yourself to completely cleanse oneself spiritually from everything connected to death in the satanic world. Para sa ganon, hindi sasama sa loob yung mga spirit na na-attract mo during the time of pag-attend mo ng funeral. Yan. So, ito naman yung process of multiplication of holy salt. Okay? The church pastor must first multiply holy salt and divide it among members. Next, blessed families themselves can multiply it and use it. So, prepare a quantity of holy salt, the original holy salt, otherwise referred to as seed. Yung nabibili sa BFD, that is what we call the seed holy salt. Okay? So make a clean place where you will multiply the holy salt. Okay, number 4, method of multiplication: by an amount of new salt and sanctify it with holy salt. After sanctifying it, ito na yung procedure: make a 7 equal piles of new salt as well as a pile of an equal amount seed holy salt. if just a few grains of this seed, holy salt, is available, then the 7 piles should also each consist of only a few grains of each. Multiply only this small amount at first and go through the same procedure a second time in order to make a greater quantity. And then report prayer should follow. Okay, follow these lines. I multiply this holy salt in the name of true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, and in my name, honor of Chun Il Guk. And then divide the seed holy salt pile and strew it in each of the 7 piles of new salt. Mix the seed holy salt and new salt in each pile. And then mix all piles together and offer a report prayer of gratitude. So, ito yun. Alam ko nandito yun eh. Yan. So, ito yung seed holy salt. Tapos, gagawa ka ng ito. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then after that, from the seed holy salt, kuha ka ng portion at ilagay dun sa new holy salt. And then after that, combine them together. Okay? Yan. And then after na multiply mo na lahat, okay, kuha ka ulit ng another portion from the whole to become your seed holy salt. So, pwedeng kumuha ka ng portion na yan, ilagay mo ulit sa isang maliit na lalagyan at lalagyan mo ng label na seed holy salt. Na yun yung gagamitin mo pag mag-multiply ka, pag maubos na tong portion na ginagamit mo for sanctification. So, yan po yung pag-multiply ng holy salt. And then offer a prayer of gratitude. So, ito naman yung procedure to sanctify an item. Okay? North, south, east, west. It should be in a cross or north, east, south, west. All direction. Okay? Isa sa north, isa sa south, isa sa east, isa sa west. Okay? Yan. So, lahat ng bagay na bibilin natin, we should purify it, sanctify it using the holy salt. Okay? And then another na ginagamit natin is yung Chun Il Guk candle. So, origin and significance of Chun Il Guk candle. On 1.2 by the heavenly calendar in 2012, True Parents bequeathed this candle to all blessed families at the Chunbuk ceremony, conducted in Chunbuk-gung in the commemoration of True Parents' 93rd birthday, golden anniversary, and 70th birthday of True Mother. On this day, True Father said, all of humanity must attend the heavenly family and lead lives of one lineage, one tradition, and one resemblance. Centered on this candlelight, we must light everything to ensure that the light in the church, country, and world does not die out. Okay? And also, Chun Il Guk Holy Candle, 316 by the heavenly calendar, 4th year of Chun Il Guk. True Parents ushered in a new age on the foundation of the sincere morning devotion centered on Bunyang Won that was offered after True Father's universal ascension. The Holy Candle has been bestowed to us to use in this new age. So, nagkaroon ng another Holy Candle. Yun yung Chun Il Guk Holy Candle na ginagamit natin ngayon. Okay? Paano gagamitin yung Holy Candle? By lighting this Holy Candle, Heavenly Parents can reside with us and can work through us. This Holy Candle can be used at any time when offering devotion, pag nagpa-pray tayo, individually or in a group, for the fulfillment of Heavenly Parents' will. So ito yun, when offering special condition to receive the blessing, pag magpa-pray ka, you have to light the candle, even when you do reading. And then when conducting the 3-day ceremony, you needed also to light a candle. When giving birth to a child, one can use one of the 7 candles in this case. Yeah. When conducting a dedication ceremony of a blessed child, kinakailangan ng merong Chun Il Guk candle. When celebrating the 40th day or 103 day and other birthdays, we needed to light the candle. So when there is a serious undertaking in the family, we can also light the candle. When doing a set prayer condition for a common goal set with the church, we also needed to light the candle. when doing hondoke or holding worship service in a church or in the family, we needed also to lit the candle. Likewise, when doing pledge service in Anshil, holidays, and others. Also, when carrying out activities for the establishment of substantial chunilguk. Kaya even when we offer a prayer during the time that we'll do our witnessing or any activity that we have, we needed to lit a candle. Okay? So that is how the holy candle is being used. Another is, a holy candle must be lit with a holy match or a holy lighter. So when extinguishing the flame of holy candle, do not blow it out. Huwag mong hipan, okay, with your mouth. Do so between two of your finger or a candlelight extinguisher. Kung wala kang pangpatay na candlelight extinguisher, pwede yung dalawang daliri. Okay? Yan. Or, yun ang pinakamaganda. Gamitin mo yung daliri mo to turn off or bumili ka ng candlelight extinguisher. Okay? Pero kung wala ka talagang ganon at hindi mo rin kaya yung hawakan na ganon, yung ginamit mo na pangsindi ng candle, mag-iwan ka ng konti doon sa matchstick, tapos yun ang gagamitin mo to extinguish the light. Okay? But never ever blow the candle. So all existing holy candle are encompassed within the Chunilguk holy candle, bequeathed to us on the 316 by the heavenly calendar 2016, April 22. As of this date, we are to use only the Chunilguk candle. Okay, so that is the use of holy candle. Now let's understand how to multiply the holy candle. Okay, so this is the process. Purchase 3 or more new candles, and then after you purchase, sanctify them with holy salt. And the new candle must be of a white or of a bright ivory color, and must be at least 12 to 15 centimeter long. So at least 12 to 15 centimeter, yun yung minimum length niya. And prepare a candle holder or plate on which to put the seed holy candle. So dapat meron yung lalagyan ng seed holy candle. Yun yung Chunilguk candle. Okay? The seed holy candle placed on the candle holder must be put on Heavenly Parents' position, and the newly purchased 3 or to be respectively put on Adam, Eve, and the child's position. So ano ibig sabihin nun? 1, 2, 3, tatlo. In the form of the 4-position foundation. 1, 2, 3, tapos nandito yung Chunilguk candle. Yan. So offer a prayer to begin the multiplication along this line. I multiply this holy candle in the name of true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, and in my name, honor of Chunilguk. And then after that, light the seed holy candle first with holy match, and then hold the seed holy candle with both hands. The right hand should go above the left hand and should support the candle from the bottom. And then light starting with Adam, Eve, and the child's candle in respective order. Once that's done, the seed holy candle must be returned to its original position, the heavenly parent position. And then after na nailagay yung candle dun sa original position, offer the concluding prayer while the candle are still lit. And then after that, you can also multiply the holy candle on a 1-to-1 basis. Yan. So, ganun ang pag-multiply ng holy candle. Okay? And kasama ng holy candle is holy match. So, purchase 3 or 1 new box of match and sanctify them with holy salt. And then place the seed holy match in heavenly parents' position and the purchase 3 boxes in Adam and Eve and child's position as in the 4-position foundation. And then after that, offer a prayer of multiplication. The same with prayers multiplying the candle, but this time what we'll say is, I would like to multiply this holy match. And then take the seed holy match and put it above the matches in Adam, Eve, and child's position in respective order, and then return it to its original position. offer a brief prayer, brief concluding prayer, and then holy mats can be multiplied also into a one-to-one basis. So one can use holy lighters in the absence of holy mats. The multiplication of holy lighters is the same as those of holy mats. So yun yung pag-multiply ng holy mats. Okay? And para merong sign na yung mga mats na yun is holy mats, pwede ka rin maglagay ng isang stick na nasa ibang position para sa ganun alam na yun yung holy mats para hindi magamit sa kusina. So that is the multiplication of holy mats. So the next tradition that we have is Hondokhe. Pag sinabi nating Hondokhe, the meaning of Hondokhe is Hon means teaching, Dok means reading, and He means gathering. So Hondokhe materials are completed Testament messages directly from God, and we have a lot of books. Pwede nating mabili or pwede nating may download online. You can go to tparents.org and then you can download so many books, digital books, and you can use it for Hondok materials. So all of these things, we should value it, and not only value it for ourselves, but we have to share it to others. Yeah. So what is Jongsong? Okay. Hondok Jongsong for purification of mind and body. After reading through parents' words, summarize part of that you read in a key and recite them every moment in your daily life. So, halimbawa, nag-Hondokhe ka, tapos meron kang nakuhang inspiration, kuha ka ng mga words na yung mga keywords doon, and then lagi mong tandaan yon, or pwede mo siyang isulat para pwede mong tignan from time to time. So, Hondokhe must become a hobby. It is a time of true parents guiding us to perfection, a time which can consume spiritual food, a time which a family develops, a time which spiritual world descend and help us. They help true parents. Yan. So, Hondok Jongsong for purification of mind and body is a time of concentrating to the voice inside me, the voice of original mind. It is a time of communicating with heavenly parents, not just myself, but with heavenly parents in everyone else. Purify yourself and burn satanic self of yourself through true parents' words and meditation. So, it's clearing your satanic self. So, Hondokhe is a way of clearing our satanic self. Especially after the foundation day, we must live a life of communicating every moment with heavenly parents like the life in the Garden of Eden. Purification of mind and body is practicing and getting used to the ascetic gymnastic to increase the power of heavenly parent. By doing the gymnastic, you can increase the immune system of your body, and this help in increasing the power of heavenly parent in you. So our attitude towards Hondokhe, okay, daily basis of offering Hondok Jongsong, stopping means death. Okay, we should not stop reading Father's words. So we have to do it every day. Para sa ganun magkaroon din tayo ng everyday resurrection and restoration. Everyday Hondokhe is also what we call everyday growth. Hondok time is the time when God love is infused into me and pouring eternal breath into my spirit. So this should be the kind of mindset and heart set we have when we do and attend Hondokhe. Okay? Always read with the thought that Hondok is the time when God's mind and my mind become one. That is also the time when my mind and body become completely united. And also connection with the first blessing or individual perfection. So yan yung Hondokhe. So ito yung mga materials na pwede natin gamitin. Recommended to be read. Andyan yung sermons of Reverend San Myang Moon, 1,200 volumes of words. Yan. And also exposition of the divine principle, the peace messages or Pyongwa Sinjong, family pledge, true family gateway to heaven, honor of peace, honor of lineage, world scripture, and as a peace-loving global citizen. 3 great textbook, Chongsong-gyong, Champumugyong, Pyongwa Gyong. And also, naidagdag yung Mother of Peace. And all other speeches of true parents, it can become a material for Hundok He. Okay? Yes. So we needed also to possess true parents picture. This is the official true parents picture that we can put into our altar or we can possess. So when selecting a picture of true parents or true family to be used as the main photograph on the altar, choose the picture that is appropriate as an official photograph. So photograph which show our true parents or the true family in a more casual stance might be used in the home or placed in a personal album. Choose the size of the picture in accordance with the proportion of the room. Pero usually, ang pina-recommended is 8 by 10. So true fathers mentioned that no more than 1 or 2 photographed true parents or the true family should be in one room, in any one room, including the prayer room. It should be, ano yun? It should be only one. Okay? So, true father's word, from now on, we are going to stress the value of carrying my picture. Without the protection of God, I could never have survived an untold hardship and difficulties I've faced. So, for anybody who carries my picture from now on, it will serve as protection for them. So, pwede rin natin ito maging protection against evil spirit. Okay? Yan. So, that is true father's photograph. Ito naman yung family pledge na dapat nating i-recite every day. So, meron siyang 8 points. Ito po yung Tagalog. Okay? Pwede nyo rin pong makuha to sa online. Yan. Or kung hindi, pwede rin bumili ng family pledge cards sa headquarters. Or pwede mag-ask kung sino yung nag-invite sa inyo, pwede nyo kayong bigyan ng family pledge. Either English, Korean, or yung translated sa Tagalog na ito. Okay? Part 2 of our tradition is education of the children. Okay? Why children need to be taught about God? Bakit kailangan natin silang turuan? First and foremost, because of the fall of Adam and Eve. So meaning children are supposed to pick up things and know God naturally, but due to the human fall, humanity became ignorant to the fundamental truth and has to be taught about God and His existence. Even nga tayo mga parents, meron pa rin tayong fallen nature. And sometimes our children cannot see the God in us. That's why we needed to continuously educate our children with God's Word. Okay? So this is the true father's motto for education of second generation. Love God and heaven. Love God and love heaven and love humankind. And love God and heaven, love mankind, and love nation. So yun yung motto ni Father. And this is the highest form of education that we can give to our children. Okay? We should teach them to become the true sons and daughters of God. They are not just our children, but they are first and foremost the children of God. Okay? Kaya nga, pagka mapagalitan natin, mas pagsabihan natin yung mga anak natin, we should be sorry that na-express natin yung fallen nature natin sa kanila na hindi dapat. Okay? So what is our mission as Blessed Central Family? It is to educating second generation to become successful and to inherit the tradition of the blessing from true parents. So dapat tayong mag-guide sa kanila to receive the blessing, not to disconnect to true parents. Kaya nga sabi ni Father, without educating your children, your future as blessed families will be in ruin. God's historic sorrow was in being denied the third generation. As such, he had to tread the thorny path of restoration through indemnity, shedding blood and tears and sweat. If you fail to provide for the proper upbringing of your children, the entire family will end up paying for it. That is from Father's Words, January 20, 1991. And in order for us to show our children that we are with following the true parents course and the tradition of true parents, these are the things that we have to do. Number 1 is daily hondokhe, and this is for our individual spiritual protection. Number 2 is Anshil every 8th day of the week as Sunday, and day of attendance of safe settlement. And this is the day when the era before heaven changes into the era after the coming of heaven. And this is for our family spiritual protection. Number 3 is holiday celebration and holiday donation. We have to offer. And number 4, other church internal gathering, especially with true parents and leaders. Tithing of 10% of your income. This is one way to receive material blessing and financial stability. And other different traditions that we have is daily offering meals for true parents if we have altar, prayerful life, life of reporting to central figure, and life of living for the sake of others. And these are the ceremonies, different ceremonies. Nandyan yung 3-day ceremony for husband and wife, 8-day dedication ceremony for children, birth ceremony for children, and Songwa ceremony for blessed families who have completed the 3-day ceremony. And then we have also to do the Blessed Trinity activity. And other practices, pwede nyo pong mabasa yan sa Book of Tradition. Pwede nyo ring makuha dun sa tparents.org website. So these are the activities so that we can maintain our life of faith. Number 1 is witnessing, that is gaining spiritual children, and this is our children's physical protection, yung may spiritual children natin. Number 2 is Tumbang Kyokpa or Home Church Providence or Tribal Messiah, making foundation to inherit all heavenly fortune from God and true parents. And aside from that, other church activities that requires our assistance and support in making it more successful. Ibig sabihin, we have to continuously be connected to the church or to the center. So this is also the education that we needed to receive. Internal and external education. Number 1 is Divine Principle seminars. We must continuously receive Divine Principle seminars. Okay? From 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 7 days, 21 days, 120 days, 40 days, and so on and so forth. And then we can also subscribe to church periodicals if we have a monthly newsletter. Marami tayo yan online. Acquiring books and speeches of true parents for our hondokhe. Practical education, how to raise blessed children for God's family if we have already children. Ethics and diplomatic ability for witnessing and PR purposes. And we can learn that in Chung Sung Gyung, how to approach people in community. Yeah. So with that, my dear brothers and sisters, let's work together. Let's all become the owners of the culture of heart and build the Chun Ilguk substantially on earth and expand it to the kingdom of heaven in heaven. So magandang gabi po sa ating lahat.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much po, Dr. Randy, for the beautiful presentation for this evening po. I hope and I'm very sure that our blessed families have finally learned from the this is not our first time to hear this of our family tradition and our attitude towards doing this, following all these things, for us to be able to keep our position as best parents. So yeah, thank you so much. Wow. Kanina may nakatapa akong breast pump couple pero siguro due to our signal problem. Thank you. Let's give Kuya Handy a virtual round of applause once again, dear brothers and sisters. Maraming salamat. So yeah, I'm sorry we are kind of late, and I'm so grateful to Miss Jean for being with us all the way despite her very busy schedules. So maybe it would be best since Jen is here. Maybe we can hear a few words from here before we can close our session for this evening. Miss Jen Flowry.
Reflection po.
Few words, yeah. Thank you.
Hello po, good evening. Yung pinakang na-touch po ng heart ko sa topic today, yung sinabi ni True Parents na as a parent, though hindi pa ako parent, we should teach our children not just to love us, but also our nation. Sa video na present kanina ni Sir Randy, it really shows how true parents sacrifice para ma-spread yung world peace, how he really sacrificed to bring people and nation together para magkaroon ng unity. And yun din yung gusto ni True Parents sa atin, na gawin natin to teach our children not just to love us but also our nation. Kasi as we can see ngayon, mostly yung mga parents hindi naman tinuturo yan na yung mga ganyang principle. So, yan yung gusto ni True Parents na gawin natin at maging attitude natin. Sabi nga po, diba, sa principle, we are here living for the sake of others. So, yun yung gusto ni True Parents na maging attitude natin. And also, most importantly sa diniscuss ni Sir Randy, na dapat, it is very important to really practice the tradition ni True Parents in our daily lives and ma-share din natin sa ibang tao. Yun lang po. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please keep your camera open. We have to also keep our... Okay, Julius, are you still there? I would like us to have our final picture taking po. Yeah, thank you so much, Miss Jean, for that beautiful insight. Yeah, because despite the fact that you are not yet a parent, but I'm very sure that you are preparing towards that status, I should say. So yeah, thank you so much. Let's first have our picture taking before we finally will close it with the prayer.
Jean Florin, nag-subscribe ka dun sa UPTA YouTube channel?
Naka-subscribe na ako dun, sir. Dati pa yung sa 21 days.
Sige. I-promote mo rin yun para para 183 na yung subscriber natin eh.
Sige po, sir.
And meron tayong 2,400 watch hour. More than the
So yeah, thank you so much, Miss Jane. And then yeah. So please give me your smile. I mean, this time give me your Hibaragi Sinang pose, our sunflower pose. Anadol set. And Vision 2027. Sungni. Okay. So yeah, since it's really getting late, and yeah, every one of us has Miss Jane is had not even changed our ito. So we have to close this evening, and please join me in prayer. Good evening to your most loving heavenly parents and victorious parents, and parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. We are truly very, very indebted to our true parents, heavenly parents, because of the great victory and a way of life that he has manifested during his lifetime, of really living the principle in their daily lives as we have understood that it is. And we are imploring and would like to commit ourselves that yeah, we will do our best, heavenly parents, in order for us to keep it in our daily life, heavenly parents, practice it, and to try to study more of your words, heavenly parents, which you have conveyed to our true parents, and that because you really wanted to participate in the realization of your original ideal, heavenly parents, that is establishing a kingdom here on earth. Thank you so much, heavenly parents, for trusting us and for choosing us from among the multitude, whom become a people, to become the people whom you are equipped to entrust you, your heavenly parents. And because you've given us this privilege, we will do our best, heavenly parents, to be worthy to be called your filial sons and daughters, and to become really, to make our children your true sons and daughters, whom can really love you, um, our nation, and the world, heavenly friends. Thank you so much once again for everything, and I would like to humbly consecrate everything back to you, and kindly accept this as a condition, heavenly parents, and be worthy before your altar, heavenly parents, for us to be able to work together, heavenly parents, as your children, who have recognized it is together. Thank you once again for everything, and I would like to humbly offer and report these things with so much humility and gratitude on behalf of our Jumbo families, our blessed families, all our leaders, and our brothers and sisters, and in my name, to the appearance of this time. Amen. Thank you so much po, Miss Jane. Salamat talaga for being with us all the time. Yeah, we have one more day left, and we look forward to see you on the 25th. And yeah, all other couples who participated this 6 days online education program. So thank you so much once again po, Kuya Randy, Kuya Julius, and Miss Jane. I would like to bid good night, everyone, and please stay safe and healthy. Good evening.
Thank you
Bye
po.
bye and good night.